About a year ago, I created a wildflower meadow out of a bare patch in my garden. I didn't really do much maintenance over the first year. I just wanted to see what was going to happen and whether anything would actually flower. And if you've seen my videos about it, you'll know it was a great success. And I actually had flowers for many months in a row and had a lot of different species come up. Well, then autumn hit and I got really busy with work, and then winter hit and the holidays hit and it was a bit colder and a bit busier, and I haven't really done any maintenance to the space in quite a long time. Before spring hits, I want to make sure I've maintained it properly so that I can hopefully encourage some nice growth for the new year as well. So that's what I'm going to do today. Let me talk through what you should be doing to prepare a wildflower meadow in your garden so that you can get nice growth in spring once the sun returns. When I was planting my wildflower meadow last year, I included a mixture of annual and perennial seeds. So basically a mixture of plants that would establish themselves and then come back each year, and plants that would only grow once and then would need to be able to seed the land to be able to grow back as new plants next year. I was keeping track of which one was which, but to be honest, I haven't looked up where they were and where they were growing. My philosophy with gardening, as many people will know by now, is that if it's not going to survive what I do to it, then it probably just doesn't belong in my garden. So I am a bit carefree when it comes to doing maintenance on places like this. And that means that I'm not carefully selecting which plants I'm going to weed and dig up and which plants I want to make sure I'm leaving intact. Instead, I'm just following the maintenance advice to cut this back down to about 5 to 10 centimeters tall. And this cut is going to give things that are trying to start to sprout over the coming months the chance to grow up without being drowned out by this large canopy of already established plants. Because I have left this a long time, I'm hoping that some of my annual plants have actually managed to seed themselves. There was a lot of pollinator action over the summer, so hopefully a lot of transfer of pollen to be able to fertilize the different plants, and I have seen a lot of them developing their seed heads. So the plan is to hopefully watch as they self-sprout this year as well from ones that were the parent plants last year. But we're only going to know that in a couple of months, so that's just hopeful thinking right now. As I was looking at the patch before I started cleaning it up, I did see quite a few of the old seed heads from basically the final plants of the summer season. And some of them have burst and don't have the seeds in. Some of them don't seem to have fully burst. Maybe the seeds in there weren't viable, or I'm not sure what really happened here. So I'm just gonna treat them all the same, get them all up. Anything that has managed to seed itself in my garden, I'm going to assume is healthy stock, and that's what I want. Anything else, let's just get out of there. We don't want plants that are struggling to survive in this area. Now, my initial plan with this first year of the meadow was partly just to see what happened, and partly, if you remember from the videos that I made when I was creating the meadow, there was very solid clay soil here, like so solid that I actually had to put some topsoil over, even though that's not recommended for wildflower areas. Otherwise there was just going to be no way to actually seed this area. So part of my plan was let whatever grows grow, and hopefully the root system can start breaking up some of that clay. And as I was working through here, I did notice as I was pulling up some of the rooted plants, there were bits of clay pulling up with those root bundles. So that says to me that it is starting to work, and this soil is starting to become much more viable for plant life. And when I was getting up some of these bigger root balls, the reason for that is they have basically done their job. They've got the roots spread and going long directions all through the soil, which is what I wanted. But I don't want these big plants with their big root balls to take over this area and make it so it's not viable for some of the smaller flower species to be able to bloom. What has been great about leaving this area alone for so long is just watching how much wildlife is still making use of it. Almost every day I'm seeing birds like my song thrush and my wren coming down here and picking through the leaf litter. So that's why I'm not getting rid of absolutely everything to start fresh. I want to make sure there is still some sort of flower stalks available for all of the insects to hide within and to then support all of the bird life that's going to be foraging in this area still. We've got a few months to go until the wildflowers are going to start coming up properly again, and I want to make sure this isn't just a completely dead bit of land in the meantime. As I was working away, it was really cool to see that some of my birds in the garden were watching from the hedges. I've done a bit of work with the garden that I've not been talking about that has left parts of the garden quite exposed, and that means that the birds are able to sit from a safe distance where they feel that they're okay to still be around and watch me moving about the other part of my garden. So it's really allowing me to see the birds a lot more nowadays. And it was mostly great tits, a robin and some magpies around today, and they were all watching very closely what I was doing as I was creating this big pile of the old decaying matter. Now, this old decaying matter, some people would leave it as sort of to help fertilize soil in traditional gardens, but in a wildflower meadow you actually don't want all of that fertility to go into the soil. These plants thrive on the lower fertility conditions, and since I already used quite high fertile topsoil last year to kickstart this garden, I don't need any of this extra fertility from the organic matter. So my plan here is to just set it aside, leave it for about a day so that any sort of little creatures within it have the chance to escape and enter back into the soil. And then I'm just going to get rid of it. We're going to compost it down. There's no need for it within the meadow. But in the meantime, the birds are going to enjoy picking through it. And with that all done, I'm going to leave it alone for a few weeks, maybe even a few months, and then once the plants start seeding themselves again, I'm going to start recording which species are there, and then we can compare which species were there last year versus this year, and see has there been a shift over time. And it seems like I was just in time for doing this work, because the very evening that I took all of that up, it started to snow quite a lot, and the entire wildflower meadow patch was covered in a layer of the snow. And what this means is that when the snow inevitably melts away, the added water and moisture there isn't going to be further rotting down all of those bits of vegetation and letting the different organic compounds sink further into the soil and fertilise it. I've removed them just in time. It feels great to have gotten that job done. I've just had a look out the window and the birds are already picking away at what I've left out there. I'll leave it until tomorrow and then I'll collect up everything that I pulled up, just so that any invertebrates hiding around have the chance to escape before they go in my composting bin. If there are any garden jobs that you're planning to tackle before spring returns, let me know in the comments below.